2022 meeting. So Mr. Fennel is the first. I need a second as Junior. Any comments, corrections, clarifications of the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor with the sign of aye? Aye. Those opposed with a nay? Passes unanimous. We will move to informational. The county clerk's report is our first one up, so we have Ms. Parker here. So we'll ask her if she has any additional comments. She had her packet well written up in the material in the packet. So, Rachel, any comments?
Good afternoon. I don't think this is on, but I can talk loud enough. No, I do not have any additional information to add to what you've already received, but if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Looks like your numbers are coming in well this year, right? You'll
Yes,
have
they
a
are.
good year.
Yes. And since this is your last meeting, I just want to say it's been nice working with you as our chair of the Ways and Means Committee. And
Thank you.
I mean, I'll see you at the board meetings, but
Yeah,
as the chair,
I appreciate
it's
that.
been nice.
All right. Well, if no questions, we'll move on to the next item. The County Election Commission, Ms. Gannon, and I have to give a public apology because last month I didn't give her a chance to speak. It was right before the election, so I did apologize to her, but I wanted to make that public as an omission on my part.
No
So
worries at all.
Elizabeth, it's all yours.
Sure. So the election is finally wrapped up. As of last Wednesday, we canvassed the election. We had just over a 50% turnout, which was not that great in my opinion. But we are already starting on the February primary. Today is the last day to file for City Council at large in our office. As of right now, we have 9 people that have filed. If more than 10 file, we will have a primary. So it looks that way from what I've heard, who's coming in the last hour. So we're just moving right on to the next one. Any questions for me?
Any questions from the committee? Oh,
Park District doesn't file until December. I think that's 12th through the 19th. That's school board, Park District, that stuff. You're
All right.
welcome.
Ms. Allison?
I just wondered what your feedback was with the new voting systems, feedback from the public.
From the public, I think it was, what we heard most of all was why, and then that's really easy. So that was, it was really, why did we have to go back to paper? Why are we doing that? And then once they did it, it was a really simple process, very quick and easy. So I think for the most part, it was positive. It was just more apprehensive as to why we were doing that.
I would say the only complaint that I heard was they felt lack of privacy when the boundaries were set up on a table versus having an individual station. But the process of paper,
Sure.
I didn't hear any complaints on.
Sure. That might be just how the election judges laid out their polling place as well. So,
Phil, you have a question?
yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Right. More than likely, it will pick up the X. It's just to, ensure that it has to do with, how many marks are within the box. It tabulates based on that. So the instructions say to fill in the box all the way, but, we know not everybody follows the directions. So lots of people just put X's and check marks, which it picked up, but it does pick them up, yes.
Any other questions from the committee? I guess I'll ask, I know Jennifer asked about public comments, but as running with the new material, the new election voting equipment, any learning curves, anything that you want to share with the committee of what went well and things that maybe opportunities to refine a little bit more?
Sure, always. There's always learning when it comes to this with processes and procedures. I will say that we were very shorthanded this election. We had 2 staff leave in the midst of the election, so there was just a lot of cross-training and overlapping and just extra hours and working with those procedures. But specifically, I would say management of our V drives and keeping track of those. So the V drive is what the election results are stored on within the scan itself. And so just for retabulation purposes, really knowing where each of those is coming from and then storing them separately for going back to those, I would say that was definitely a learning curve.
Okay.
But other than that, it makes my life so much easier. It is great software. It's such an improvement from, you know, what we've had the 10-plus-year-old software. It was great. Election night would have gone a lot faster. We had a few polling places that cut some seals that they weren't supposed to cut. So just to be on the safe side, we went back to the paper and tabulated. We ran all of the paper ballots for those 4 polling places through the scanners and tabulated that way, just to ensure the integrity of the election that way. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, good. You want to announce your new assistant?
Sure. Her name is Jessley Joseph. She goes by Jess. She is young, 25 years old, so I get to mold her. So I'm excited about that. But she is just really outgoing, very bright, really excited to have her on board. Her first day was when we did the public test, and I asked her, "Are you coming back tomorrow?" And so she did come back, so we're doing well.
Oh, good. Good. Well, all right. Well, thank you. Any other last comments from your side?
I don't think so, unless you
Wh-
guys have anything for me.
When do the results become certified?
They are official on our website now.
Okay.
So Wednesday was the canvass, and as of Wednesday of last week, it is official. But
Good.
the state, that's county level, the state has a few more weeks to certify the results.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll move to the Supervisor of Assessments Board of Review, Mr. Dave Ryan.
Thank you, Steve. Really not too much to add. We're just winding down the board of review. That should be done in January, and we'll send our final abstract down to the Department of Revenue probably sometime around February, and hopefully we'll get that back in March. So the tax cycle's on time and ready to go, and we're getting ready to go for 2023. And we do one of our appraisers, our only appraiser actually in the office, is took a different position somewhere else, so we moved somebody into that position, and we are also trying to find somebody in our office. So hopefully that goes smoothly. But other than that, I don't have anything else.
Anybody on the committee have questions for Mr. Ryan? No? All right. Well, thank you
Well,
for
I
the
appreciate it,
update.
Steve. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll move to the treasurer, Ms. Bierke. Always knows, it's good to know where your money's at.
Okay, so November 7th, we had our tax sale. We, thanks to you all, if you recall, a couple months ago, you passed a single bidder rule ordinance. So last year we had 47 buyers, and this year we had 15. So thank you very much. Our tax sale went in about a half hour, and we had 2,263 parcels that went to the tax sale in years that we did not use RAMS 2, and we had the actual auction in here. That would have gone till probably about 4 o'clock that afternoon. So doing it in a half hour is fabulous. I love it. Buyers don't like it so much. Oh well. Like I said, 2,263 parcels went to the sale. That was a little over $3.15 million. 1,553 parcels went to regular tax buyers, and then the trustee got 710 parcels. That was also after pulling out City of Peoria parcels where there's can't think of the right word now.
The land bank?
Where they're condemning them and they're going to be tearing them down. I've worked with the city extremely closely the last couple months to try and avoid those going to the tax sale, just to have a sale and error done a month later. So I pulled all of those. That also excludes any bankruptcies or parcels that have been involved in a sale and combination, or a combination and split. Just to give you an idea of what the bid distribution was, the average bid was 4.29%. The legislature did change the percentages this year. It used to be 0 to 18% every 6 months for the first year, It is now 0 to 9%. The weighted average bid was 1.56. Because such a large amount went to the trustee is an automatic 9%. So that does, the larger that percentage is, it does tend to skew the percentages. We had 1,046 parcels go for 0%. And then we had 538 go for, or I'm sorry, 942 go for the 9%. So that's kind of where the skews tend to be. The 0% is usually because the tax buyers are banking on a subtax for the next year at 12%. So that's why they're willing to go the 0%. If someone comes and redeems within 2 months, then that tax buyer gets nothing. They just get their money back and that's it. The next distribution is December 7th. In mid-December will be the next interest distribution, or the last interest distribution, then we're done. We are currently at 98% distributed. So the only thing that's left to distribute now is pretty much what came in up until the tax sale from the end of October until November 4th, and then the tax sale. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Bjerke?
It's riveting stuff, isn't
I
it?
know, it's riveting. Tax sales, distributions, it's all good stuff. So you're ahead of schedule, well on schedule. Of 98% of your distribution's done, right?
Yes.
Any, as we asked the clerk, anything, lessons learned, observations rolling into 2023 that you would do different, or you'd ask the board to look at in a different manner to make it better?
Help me keep my staff. I mean, that was the biggest thing this year, is there was a lot of staff turnover. My current chief deputy, his last day is tomorrow. I have a new chief deputy starting Wednesday, so keep your fingers crossed on that one. Hopefully the new position that you all approved for me for next year will come to fruition, and I'll be able to hire another person, and that will definitely help. It was a little bit of a learning curve with taking over the city tax collections. It was something we always did anyway. It always funneled down to us, but we had a lot of more walk-in traffic than I guess we were anticipating. So having another person that will help, keeping staff will help. Other than that, the process is what the process is.
Okay.
And it's been a struggle with the new finance system too, trying to keep on top of that, because we do handle the money part of it too, in addition to finance. But with staff turnover, it was hard. It was basically fell on my shoulders. And so now with the new chief deputy, she's starting right at the time we're beginning all the training. So that will be a good thing. So she'll start from ground zero, just like the rest of us as far as training. So that
Good.
will be helpful.
Okay. Well, thank you for that update. And Mr. Fennell?
Yeah, I have a question a little bit on investments. I see out there the interest rates are going up a little bit, primarily and more in your financial institutions, not so much in the banking industry. They're kind of tight on their CDs. Have you been able to take advantage of any of the increase? Have you seen much movement there?
On some of them, yeah. We did have some CDs that right before interest rates started to go up, we had already invested them for
Sure.
the 12 months. So we have to wait till they mature, but we have caught some of them. Our insured cash sweep account, which handles a big portion of our funds right now, it's at, I think like last time I looked was 238 basis points. And so that's been keeping up with the CDs and everything as far as that. Last I looked, Morton Community Bank, which holds a lot of it, we have 3 ICS accounts there. They actually increased ours by quite a bit to handle the increase in the interest, but also they gave us a special rate. So last month's interest was pretty good.
Yeah, I see some institutions like Edward Jones, you know, they're 4.5%. I didn't know what your restrictions are. They're federally insured too, but I didn't know what your restrictions were.
Usually the ones like that are longer term. And so I've not had a chance to sit down with the county administrator or any of the other departments that have some funds to invest to see how long term, you know, if they're just at the 12 months.
Just
or-
I have seen some 9-month ones.
Okay.
and 1 year, 2, 3 years. So just a point.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the committee? All right. Thank you, Nicole. We will now move to Veterans Assistance Commission and Mr. Brooks. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. So in October, we had 455 veterans. So that's just walk-in. That's physical people walking into the office. That we do mostly. We probably do more phone appointments, but with the new PACT Act, we have a lot of new people walking in. So when they had to go back and look, and the most we ever had pre-COVID was 400. So 455, which being short-staffed because we had somebody leave, which I'll update in a minute. But our front desk person got promoted to veteran service officer, so we actually had Trish sit up front because she knows all the answers since she's been there over 20 years. So it was difficult because we were just short-staffed, and it just never stopped. So I think it was close to 2,000 phone calls. I don't even know how many. We tried to do phone call appointments because we have digital signature. So that's what. After your first claim, we tried to do that. The very first claim, we want you to come in physically, see us, explain the process. So we're the new guy started. So our new guy was kind of an old guy in 2019. He's a Marine Corps veteran, Special Forces, so we don't have to have any issues up front. But he actually has a master's in psychology, so he wanted to come back. The grass wasn't greener on the other side at the VA, so it was nice to have him back, and it'd be easy to train. So we don't really have to. Not much has changed other than the actual. He actually just commented. He's like, "You weren't joking how much busier it was compared to 2019." So it's good to have Dan back. So we also, I'm working on the annual governor's report, so I probably should have that. I have to have that to the governor before January 1st, so I'll email it all to you. This year's numbers, 49.8 million total money. I was trying to get to 50 before I reported to you guys, but I ran out of time. And we're at 7.2 new money, which is lump sum payments to veterans this year. That's it.
Great results. Questions from the committee members? All good. Well, thank you, Mr. Brooks, for taking care of the veterans and doing that service. All right, we'll now move into the first resolution. It's the regular monthly delinquent taxes. I need a motion to put that on the floor. Phil's the first and Rachel's the second. There's only a few listed in the table today, 4 of them. Any questions or comments on those sale items? If not, all in favor with the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed with a nay. All right, passes unanimously. We have one additional item. We have a sale, a committee action for assignment of a tax sale certificate of purchase to a buyer. And so I need a motion to put that on the floor. Mr. Fennell and Mr. Wendish as a second. So we did this a couple months ago with another one, but we had a buyer that came in to buy. It's a fairly straightforward process. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll vote on this. Any questions? Okay, all in favor of the sign of aye? Aye. Those opposed with a nay? All right, passes unanimously. We are now down to the miscellaneous. Any comments for miscellaneous? Okay. With that, we will conclude. Thank you.